everybody, and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now, this video is a bit different to what I normally do. This is a look inside to Van der Beek, okay? And it's not just Van der Beek. Let me know if you like these type of videos, because I might do it on other players that have been at Manchester United or are currently at Manchester United. So let's get right into the video of the downfall of Donny van der Beek. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment and share. It really helps out the channel. So let me know your thoughts on today's video down below in the comments below, and like the video as well if you like this type of video. But anyway, let's stop the chit chat and get right into the downfall of Donny van der Beek. As we know, Donny van der Beek is a Manchester United midfielder who's currently 25 years old, but he didn't start his career at 25 years old for Manchester United. He had a great career before he joined Manchester United, and this is what I'm talking about the downfall of Donny van der Beek. So, Van der Beek was born on the 18th of April 1997, where he joined Ajax's academy in 2008. He made his debut in 2015 in a competitive match in the Europa League against Celtic for Ajax, and he did reasonably well, but that was only the start for Donny van der Beek. In the 2016-2017 season, Donny van der Beek progressed and helped out Ajax in the Europa League and getting them all the way to the final of the Europa League, but lost to Manchester United 2-0 in that season. Van der Beek came on as a substitute and tried to impact the game. He had a few shots on target, tried to pass in a few players and a few of his teammates, but they weren't successful, and Manchester United won the Europa League. And to be fair, that was our last trophy, which was a bit embarrassing. But anyway, the season after, in the 2017-2018 season, Van der Beek established himself as a first teamer for Ajax. He had an absolute great season, really, and the fact that he also went on internationally to make his debut for his professional debut as international level against Romania. This was where Van der Beek's career started to go up and up and up. So the season after, in the 2018-2019 season, this was Van der Beek's golden year. Not many players get to peak at this level, and this was where Van der Beek's downfall technically began. He had such a great year in the 2018-2019 season, and I'm going to tell you the facts now. So let's start off with Ajax. They got all the way to the Champions League semi-finals, but lost to Spurs 3-3. With the goal difference, it was the away goal difference, and obviously Ajax were knocked out. But it was a great season for Ajax as a whole, where numerous players got listed for the Ballon d'Or, but obviously none of them won it. But it was a great achievement for them Ajax players. Van der Beek was amongst that 30-man shortlist. Even though Van der Beek only came 28th, it was still an incredible achievement for the 22-year-old at the time. To be listed in the Ballon d'Or at 22 years old, being in the same category as the great players, must have been an amazing feeling for Van der Beek. But this was only the downfall of Van der Beek. He also went on in that season to go to the very first Nations League final, but lost to Portugal with the Netherlands. But let's get right into where Van der Beek's downfall actually happened. August the 30th, 2020, COVID year. That was a bad year for everyone, especially Van der Beek. But Van der Beek changed his career when he joined Manchester United. When United signed him, a lot of fans were excited, a lot of fans didn't know who he was. But Van der Beek was well known in Europe to be a very good creative midfielder, box-to-box midfielder, and a ball-winning midfielder. The guy could literally play anywhere in midfield, and this is what the excitement brought to him as Manchester United lost too many midfield battles, and Van der Beek was going to be seen as a player that was going to change all that. But how wrong we were. Van der Beek was treated disgustingly by Manchester United, and I don't know what's happening with him now. We're going to get onto that later in the video. But with Van der Beek, he joined Manchester United for a fee of £35 million with a reported £5 million in add-ons. And he also chose to wear the jersey number 34 to pay tribute to his former Ajax teammate, Nomore, who collapsed in a friendly in 2017 for Ajax and was put in an induced coma. So Van der Beek, that's, if you didn't know that fact, that's why Van der Beek wears the number 34. Van der Beek had a little involvement in his first season at Manchester United, only starting 4 Premier League matches. He made his debut in Manchester United's opening fixture, coming off the bench against United's 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace, but Van der Beek was the one who scored United's only goal for the 3-1 defeat. That was pretty much his entire first year for Manchester United. He hardly appeared ever. He literally hardly played. He would only be brought on for 5 to 10 minutes right at the end of the game to change the game. And it didn't take long for Manchester United fans to start questioning why Van der Beek wasn't being played. And I was one of them. I thought that this player was brought in for 35 million and was going to walk right into the team. But how wrong we were. As we said, we don't know what actually has happened with Van der Beek. We don't know why he's been so mistreated. He's been treated he's been treated badly, is what I'm trying to say. And it's an absolute disgrace, to be honest. And it's only not getting better from there. The second season at Manchester United was even worse. It only went downhill from there for Van der Beek. He didn't even start a Premier League game. He only came on as a substitute. Although he started in a few Champions League matches and United's Carabao Cup campaign, United lost in the very first game of the Carabao Cup to West Ham. And Van der Beek was heavily blamed for that match, but he didn't have the players around him. He was put with youth players over the second team, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer expected him to make magic happen. It was an absolute massacre for Van der Beek. And as you can tell, the downfall just carried on and on and on. In what turned out to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last ever game as well, in the 4-1 defeat from Watford, Van der Beek came on and scored the last goal in the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer campaign. And Van der Beek was just... It was a massive middle finger to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, because Van der Beek was treated so poorly by him, and to score the last ever goal of the manager's regime, he scored the last goal. And does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer regret not playing Van der Beek? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. He's not spoke out since he's left the club, to be honest. But like I said, this is the story of Van der Beek. So Van der Beek only played for the third time in 12 Premier League appearances, and that was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So the 12 games in the Premier League in that season so far, he only played 3 times. But it didn't even get any better after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked. He only played 9 minutes in the remaining 10 games under Carrick and Rangnick until he went out on loan in January. January transfer window happened. As we know, it comes around every single year, and this is a very crucial moment, I think, for football, because the January transfer window is either players you missed out on in the summer, or players to help out your squad for a short time, or just to improve your squad, really. And 2 clubs came in for Donny van der Beek. Them teams were Everton and Crystal Palace. So 2 Premier League clubs have noticed Van der Beek's talent from when he's come on for Manchester United, and they want him for his team. There was many other teams as well that were unnamed that were in for Van der Beek, but the main 2 that made the headlines was Everton and Crystal Palace. So it went on all January transfer window for the full 30 days. Who was Van der Beek going to go to? He had the option of Crystal Palace's Vieira or Frank Lampard's Everton. Who was he going to go to? It was absolute. What's the word? It was important decision for Van de Beek, because he was guaranteed game time at both clubs, and it just makes you think, who should he have gone to? For me, I personally think he should have gone to Crystal Palace, due to the fact that Vieira is the manager. It was his first season as manager, and we saw what happened last season, what Conor Gallagher happened in Crystal Palace. Vieira developed Conor Gallagher really well, and I think that he would have helped Van de Beek's career out a lot if he went to Crystal Palace. But Van de Beek ended up going to Everton and starting his first 5 games out of his 6 for Frank Lampard, coming on in one of them games. So he started 5 and came on in one of them. So he played all 6 games. But then injuries. Donny van de Beek had a lot of injuries in his thighs, and that's what caused him to have a terrible loan spell at Everton. He scored at Everton, but he hardly played. And it's a shame, because Donny van de Beek, his career since he's been at United has been a downfall. You've got to the top of the roller coaster, and then you're going down and down and down, and then eventually you're going to reach the bottom, and then that's when the ride's over. And I honestly think Van de Beek is about to reach the bottom at Manchester United and get off that ride. So, just a bit more info about Everton as well for his loan spell. He got injured a total of 3 times in training, and it was a big loss for Everton, what it says here. And that shows that when Van de Beek is needed, he's a crucial player for whichever team he's at, whether it's Everton, Manchester United, Ajax, and if he leaves. Van de Beek will always be seen in my eyes as a very important player. But we're going to get onto this now, because Ten Hag's era begins. Ten Hag was is the manager of why Van de Beek became a nominee for the Ballon d'Or. Ten Hag is technically the manager who made Van de Beek the player he is. And it's very confusing how he wants players from Ajax but isn't playing a former Ajax teammate or player in Van de Beek. Now, we know that Van de Beek's recently been injured and hopefully he's back soon. But when you think about it, no pre-season for Van de Beek. He didn't play at the start of the season. He's only made 3 appearances under Ten Hag's tenure. And it absolutely confuses me, because to me, when Van de Beek comes on, he's a player that makes a difference. I honestly thought that Van de Beek would be a perfect rotation player for Eriksen. When Eriksen needs a rest, play him in the Europa League or play him against a lower Premier League team, the bottom half of the table, and Van de Beek will make a difference. He can play a ball as well as Eriksen. He's a very good system player, and I think under Erik Ten Hag's system, what he's played in many times in his career, he should know the little insights and what Ten Hag demands. But my only issue with Van de Beek is that the system player that he is too he's too much of a system player, if that makes sense. He reminds me of Jadon Sancho. He has to be in a squad that is perfect. He has to be in a squad where he knows what his teammates are going to do before they even do it. And United, at the moment, hardly have any communication. That's going to improve under Ten Hag, because he will drill that into United like he did for Ajax. But when it comes to Van de Beek, I think that's why he's failed at Manchester United, because it wasn't just Van de Beek as well who got treated poorly by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Carrick and Rangnick. Carrick wasn't here for too long. He was only in charge for 3 games and he was undefeated. We drew to Chelsea and then won our other 2 games, I think it was. We beat Arsenal and then we beat the team in the Champions League. Was it Atletico Madrid? I think that's what happened under Carrick's career at as a Man United interim manager. But you've got the likes of Eric Bailey, who never got a run-in for a Manchester United player because he was very injury prone. But we didn't know Van der Beek was injury prone. We just always saw him sat on the bench and come on for 5 to 10 minutes. But that was due to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's favourites. And I think Rangnick was just trying to get the season over and done with, to be honest. But that wasn't Van der Beek's fault. Obviously, under Rangnick, Van der Beek didn't really play. He played for a couple of games, or came on... No, he played for 9 minutes, didn't he? What am I talking about? But Van der Beek came on for 9 minutes under Rangnick, and then obviously he went on to Everton. But that's the issue with favourites, and I think Ten Hag can't have favourites this season at all, because he needs to have every single player ready and fighting. So he needs to know that if he can call upon a player from the bench, that they're going to work their socks off. And you can see in certain players, their drive to have that first team spot is really, really good. But Van der Beek I hope he's going to be that player, because this month for Manchester United is a crucial month. We've got very tough games coming up. We've got game after game after game, and we'll need as much rotation as possible. We can't afford injuries. We can't afford players not performing. Every player needs to be at their best, and rotation is going to be key. So, as a whole, Van der Beek's breakdown was he's currently failed at Manchester United, or should I say, Manchester United have failed Van der Beek. From what a young lad who was a Ballon d'Or nominee went from was an absolute disgrace. You would have thought that he was just a random player from the Eredivisie that United picked up. He isn't that whatsoever. I still believe Van der Beek has something to prove at Manchester United, and I really hope he gets his chance when he's back fit. But anyway, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was the downfall of Donny Van der Beek. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts on this type of video. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment and share. And yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.